Have you ever sat there admiring a problem, knowing you needed to act, but your brain kept spinning in circles? We call that overthinking, but really, it's a breakdown in clarity of thought. The dreaded analysis paralysis creeps in, leaving you stranded in a mental desert island. In this video, I'll share an information processing framework that cuts through the clutter, helps you see clearly and move fast, even under pressure. Will your decision be perfect? No. But it'll be reasonable and quick, and that's the point. But once you act, the process starts again. You'll keep refining, improving, and learning from every decision. Let's get started. Today, we're talking about the OODA Loop. That stands for Observe, Orient, Decide, and Act. It was developed by Air Force Colonel John Boyd, a fighter pilot, who needed to make life or death decisions in seconds. After it proved itself in combat, the OODA Loop has found new homes in business, law enforcement, and even cybersecurity. It's not just for fighter pilots anymore. It's for anyone who wants to make faster, smarter decisions in complex situations. Let's break it down. Observation means more than just looking. It's taking in your environment, people, patterns, context. It's noticing what matters and what doesn't. You draw on experiences, your own, and those you've learned from others. Observation also includes rules, policies, even company culture. It's all a part of the landscape you're reacting to. Next is Orient. This is where things get interesting. Orientation is your perception of reality. Let's talk a little bit about sensory processing. The first step with sensory processing is our brain interprets the input it gets, eyes, ears, nose, touch, whatever, and it attempts to comprehend what it's been given. Has it been given everything? Maybe. Has it tried to understand everything? Definitely not. It's getting too much information for it to understand everything. It picks and chooses what it wants to process. Then we got pattern recognition. One of the most famous patterns that we tend to think about when we think about pattern recognition is pareidolia, right? We see faces in everything, right? So face pareidolia. But we as humans love good pattern recognition, whether it's we see part of a sentence and we think, oh, I know the rest of that sentence, or we see part of a word and we think, oh, I know the rest of that word. We see a face in the crowd and we think, oh, I know that person. Whatever it is, we love our patterns. The next is building on schemata. What that means is we like to take, and it's one of the best ways for us to learn actually, we like to take new information and just hitch it right up to our wagon full of old information and drive it right along. Now, 9 times out of 10, that's a great way to do things because we're hooking it up to stuff and making ourselves learn. Doesn't always work out right, but it usually does a lot. And then we've got intuition also, right? And this is our ability to take big leaps. We don't always, grasp everything step by step. So does that always lead us to reality? It's how you make sense of everything you just observed. But here's the catch, and it's important. Your perception may not match actual reality. That's what we call a gap. That's where mistakes and opportunities live. You filter information through your background, your culture, your beliefs, and your training. Then you start forming a picture of what you think is really happening. Now comes the decision point. You've gathered information, you've oriented yourself. It's time to choose. A or B, left or right, stay or go. Make the call. Then, Act decisively. Your action changes the situation. So what do you do next? You observe again, and the loop continues. Here's a pro tip. The OODA Loop's real power comes from feedback. When you decide and act and then observe the results, you're feeding your next decision with better data. So pay attention to that feedback. It's not background noise. It's the system teaching you how to win. The goal isn't to make the best decision every time. It's to make a reasonably good decision faster than your opponent. That speed creates confusion, forcing them to react to you. It's like a boxer throwing quick jabs, not knockout punches, but enough to disrupt the opponent's rhythm before they land that uppercut. That's tempo. That's initiative. That's the OODA Loop in motion. Of course, every tool has its limits. The OODA Loop is best for tactical decisions, fast-moving situations. It's not a framework built for strategy or long-term planning. It's also vulnerable to cognitive bias. If you already dislike your HR department, well, that bias might just shape your fast decisions more than you realize. And finally, it's designed for individuals. Teams can use it, but collaboration slows down the loop. And the loop is built to be fast, bringing you right back to analysis paralysis. If this video helped clarify the OODA Loop, give it a like and subscribe. It can really help a small channel grow. And if you've used the OODA Loop in your own work or life, drop your example in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching. Now go make your next decision fast and informed.